Uh-oh.
Welcome, everybody, to Wednesday Night Race Chat Live. Had my mic muted for a minute there. I am joined tonight by Mr. Caution Flag Racing Radio, Chris Creighton. And Miss Sharon's joining us tonight as Mr. CJ is out due to some outside work commitments. He believes he'll be back next week. So nothing but the best for CJ, but glad to have you with us tonight, Sharon. Michigan, boy, oh boy. It's if you guys didn't watch Friday's fantasy report, you missed the part where I said you're either going to get your strong contenders to show up or your underdogs are going to shine. And boy, some of the underdogs did shine. We got Denny Hamlin, who started on the pole, and then I think it was post-race, or not post-race, post-like qualifying inspection or something, or unapproved changes sent him to the rear of the field to start the race. Then he was working his way towards the front. Goes all the way to the back after getting involved in an incident. And then he works his way to the front and goes on to win the race. So back-to-back weeks for Denny Hamlin of starting in the front, working your way back, getting to the front, find a way to the back of the field, and you win the race. It's Denny Hamlin, impressive showing. I do want to highlight a couple things quick from the Cup race as well. I know Chris is going to gloat in this one. That Jones boy, Erik Jones, with the runner-up finish. Let's see here. Carson Hocevar with a top 5 finish. Suarez in 6th. The one takeaway I do know is that I praised highly of RFK as an organization on our fantasy report Friday, and boy, did they throw a giant stinking curveball at me. It was heartbreaking. So heartbreaking that I'm actually feeling like Chris, shedding a tear to RFK because I was really pulling for him.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Ryan Preece was on good momentum for Michigan. Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski were, I believe, like top 5 average finishers in the next-gen car at Michigan. And the fact that only one RFK driver got a top 10 out of that deal, heartbreaker to say the least. But without further ado, let's get into our co-host portion of this as we start our green flag headlines with sold out seats. Corey Heim, the truck winner. Hamlin goes back to back. How are we feeling there, Chris?
Well, I tell you, what a weekend we had at Michigan International Speedway, and it was just so very unfortunate that the RFK cars were not able to capitalize at what we would consider a home track for those guys, especially Brad Keselowski, a double home track, right, being from the state of Michigan.
Yeah, him, Jones, Hocevar. I feel like I'm missing somebody that's from Michigan.
No, I think that's the 3.
Erik Jones.
Yeah, I got Jones.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, it's Erik Jones, Brad Keselowski, and Carson Hocevar.
Okay, so it was the 3.
Yep.
So, very disappointing for them. It seems like there's a lot of people right now pulling the old Dennis Green, they are who we thought they were, reference where, maybe RFK peaked at the wrong time and now they're headed back to mid-pack, where a lot of people think they belong. But in reality, I'd still believe that RFK is the best 4 team out there. We didn't see anything from the Penske guys, did we? We did see Zane Smith running in the top 10 before, an unfortunate incident put him out of the race.
Penske in general, let's see, stage 1, nothing. Stage 2, Logano scored 9th, and Logano finished 7th. So Logano was pretty much the Penske guy for the majority of that race. Blaney finished 8th. Cindric just finished 1 spot outside the top 10.
Well, maybe there's a little bit of life breathed into the the Ford camp over at Penske Racing. So we'll have to see how that goes. It's sad you can't get RFK and Penske on the same page at the same time. So a little bit of skid backwards from one Ford camp and a little bit of a push forward from the other. We do expect, of course, Penske to find the stride later as the season goes on. So I stand corrected there about Joey and Ryan Blaney. I did not have that actually on my list of discussion. Sold out seats.
I will say there is within the next, I'd say like 7 or 8 races, I could see Penske stepping up to the plate. I say more so of the flagship guy at this point, Ryan Blaney. Logano might pop in here, but there might be a couple races where Cindric might turn some heads.
Yeah, definitely at the St. Louis track. Of course, we're going through that stretch right now. I believe I mentioned it last week. These are tracks that are not chase tracks. We're going through the stretch where, these are tracks that we're going to one time. We will not see them again. I believe maybe Atlanta would have already had their second race. I'm not sure we're going to see a chase track again until when, Taz?
We have Pocono and San Diego, and then Sonoma, Chicagoland, Atlanta, or Echo Park, whatever you want to call it, North Wilkesboro, Indy, Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, Daytona to close out. So I don't think so. Out of those tracks I mentioned, none of them are on the chase portion of the schedule. Chris, you mentioned Gateway. I think if any of the Penske cars, I know Blaney's looking solid there. If Logano and Cindric can get themselves into the chase picture by that point, they can make a good case for the early portions of the chase.
Yes. I see Jamie Switzer said something about Connor Zilisch. And look, we got a lot to talk about, but I made a Kalshi bet that, Connor Zilisch was going to shake the monkey off his back and get him a top 5 finish. And I watched that bet go down the drain in like 2 minutes. I think it was approximately 2 minutes after the start of the green flag that we had a caution for Zilisch going around. And then the very next caution was Zilisch as well. And I think I've got something to talk about that later on in the discussion. But back to the top of the board, let's talk about the sold out seats. Once again, another racetrack we sold out. There was a lot of people there for the truck race that watched Corey Heim defeat a teammate and the guy who's driving his race truck this year, Caden Honeycutt, another heartbreaking runner-up finish. I believe Carson Hocevar finished 3rd in that event. It really had our high hopes going for Hocevar. Of course, if you were watching the poll, he dang near sat on the pole. I think who was it? Was it Hamlin that beat him? Hamlin beat him on the pole. No, to the pole. Okay,
yeah. Hamlin beat him on the pole.
And then he had an unapproved. Okay, and that put him to the back. Twice in 2 weeks, he's been put to the back and gone to the front and won. Let's talk about Denny Hamlin a minute, man. I mean, what a run he's on. What a run Toyota's on. I'm surprised I didn't pick that up as a topic. Toyota just looks unbelievably good.
And you mentioned Toyota, but let's look at Hamlin specifically here. Hamlin has 8 wins as a driver and an owner. Guys on rails. I know 5 of those wins as an owner come from Tyler Reddick. But it seems like Hamlin's just on a roll here. Looking back, coming off back-to-back, he's won 3 out of the last 4 races. Actually, no. Let me pause there. Yeah, he's won 3 of the last 4 if you include the All-Star. I know his first win was all the way back at Las Vegas, but the All-Star's been kicking a high gear of this hot streak he's on.
8 wins by Denny Hamlin since the start of the 2025 race season.
26.
But 8 wins total for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
Since the start of the 2025 race season. So in 2 years, he's accumulated 8 wins. I mean, there's really not been a better racer. I mean, you say, well, Tyler Reddick's got 5 wins, but he only had, what, 1 win or no wins last year. He had no wins last year. So
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin, even though it was such a heck of a feat that Tyler Reddick put together, I mean, Denny Hamlin has by far been the hottest race car driver in NASCAR the last couple of years, and continues to speak of a retirement. That's, I think, what's caught us all off guard.
He
was
says
questioned
after 2027, he's done.
He was questioned once again at the end of the broadcast for Prime in the post-race show of how will he accept stepping away kind of in the prime of his career. And Denny says that's the way that he wants to go out, and that they're grooming Brent Cruz, who should be ready at the end of the 2027 race season to step into that ride.
I mean, it's okay. I think Hamlin going out on a high is probably a good thing. We've seen drivers retire. I hate to put a bombshell on him, but Jimmy Johnson, I mean, when he left the Cup Series scene after 2020 to go sports car and IndyCar racing, I feel like that was kind of like a good note to go on, because he was just, I felt like 2019 was probably where the struggles began, and 2020 was just kind of like, yeah, we're kind of seeing Jimmy Johnson prime out the window. He needs to, and we thought he was done, and then came back to run like a few races, and it's just like, why? You're kind of overstaying your welcome at this point.
Right. I mean, we saw that. Go ahead.
Whereas Hamlin, he's just like, he's kind of pulling, I guess you could say, like the Peyton Manning move. I don't want to say the Tom Brady move, because I don't think Tom Brady went out on a high. But I say he's going out on the Peyton Manning move. Going out on the high. We'll see if championship comes to fruition for that point. But
right.
But I know Peyton Manning stayed a little bit longer, but at least Peyton Manning, when he retired, he had just won a Super Bowl, so he left out on a high note. Hamlin's kind of, sitting at that same point. Why beat yourself down to the ground when you are at a point where if you can retire before you start, going down on a spiral downhill, take advantage of it. I mean, I think with him retiring now, in practically his prime before he goes downward, I think that motivation for him as a owner will definitely drive that 2311 team to new heights, and they could very well compete with Joe Gibbs Racing.
I think it's easy to say you're going to retire and step away from racing when you own your own team, right? Because at any point in time, I think you can make an executive decision similar to what Jimmy Johnson has done and race a car, a fourth entry, at any point in time that he finds the sponsorships or whatever it may be to kind of piece that together. So I think that he's got the right idea, but you go back to look at Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace to this day talks about how the end of his career just really wasn't, he had a few years left in him, and he didn't realize it until it was too late that he still had enough juice in him to go out there and compete. As you said, Taz, it's kind of unique about a driver who does go out on top. We'll forever remember the legacy of Kyle Busch and how he struggled at the end of his career. Unfortunately, that was cut short by an untimely death. But we'll also look at Jimmy Johnson as an example, Kevin Harvick. But Kevin Harvick's downfall wasn't but a couple of years, and was it really Kevin Harvick that created the downfall, or was it the lack of effort being put in through the organizational managers at Stewart-Haas Racing? I think I
think it could have been that, because right. I mean, I feel like once the next gen car came in, it was like Stewart-Haas went down like a lot. Harvick went from close to double-digit win seasons prior to the next gen, and then next gen it was like SHR just went plummeting. And I think at that point it could have been partial of Tony Stewart was just trying to was just kind of riding it out until he was pretty much done.
Before we let Ms. Sharon chime in on this particular subject, I do want to say that the old NASCAR, we were very acceptable to drivers who, as Richard Petty, Jamie Welzer is just coming in. Richard had a long drought, like his last win coming in '84. He retired in '93. Darrell Waltrip, I think he went 8 or 9 years racing and continuing racing and not winning. Bill Elliott, Terry Labonte, Dale Jarrett. These names just go on and on of former big shots in NASCAR that did not necessarily walk away at the prime of their career. They stayed around for a while, but I think that when you have a business the way that NASCAR, the model is these days, it's going to be hard to have a driver that once had a significant amount of wins to actually carry a torch for very long, much longer after the prime of their career. I think that we're seeing that now, and Denny Hamlin knows that Father Time is knocking at the door. Miss Sharon.
All right. By the way, I just want to remind you who had Erik Jones on their fantasy group last.
Yeah, don't remind me.
He saved me.
I know the Demon Chris behind me that you can't see, but I know the Demon Chris behind me is like, you should have took Jones. You should have took Jones.
Well, it's funny because I kept saying I should have taken Suarez. I should have taken Zane Smith.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing during the race.
My other bet was on Bowman, so I kind of feel y'all. Even my own Demon was saying, get the Jones boy, get the Jones boy.
You know, and the funny part was that I gave Jones so much high praise Friday. And
You
then,
did.
And then I didn't even put him on my freaking team. I put SVG in thinking he was going to take his two race top 10 momentum streak and keep going at Michigan. And boy, that shot me in the foot. And then some.
That's exactly what I was doing with Zane Smith. We talked so highly of Zane Smith, and I go, neither one of us took him in when it was all said and done. But anyway, going back to Corey Heim winning in the Truck Series, man, Corey Heim is the man. He gets into a truck, and you can almost count on the fact that he's going to win that race. I kind of feel like
time is now.
Heim time is now, and I almost feel like Caden Honeycutt is in the shadow that Lane Riggs was in last year with Corey Heim. He is he's right there with, he was right there with him. It was 65 thousandths of a second that was the gap between Caden Honeycutt and Corey Heim. Another lap or two, I think he might have caught him. So I feel for Caden Honeycutt, but I am so impressed with what Corey Heim is doing in that series. Even on a part-time basis, is just incredible.
I want to mention quick, Corey Heim, I know in the early portion of the truck season, at one point, I think he was like two less races than the regulars, and he was the points leader. And the fact that he's only a part-time truck driver, he's sitting 11th in the point standings. And I know I know when it comes to chase standings, it ain't gonna matter, but it's just amazing that Corey Heim is just dominating the truck series. It's almost like Kyle Busch 2.0 again.
It is. Hunter's going to kind of challenge me a little bit. He says Heim was never going to let Honeycutt pass him. So I think it's possible. Heim is a good defender, so I can't argue that by any means. As far as Hamlin in the Cup Series, Hamlin is on a roll, and I can tell you, yes, Heim is a superstar. Jamie says Hamlin, as soon as Tyler Reddick was out of that race, I think Hamlin turned it on. He knew that this was an opportunity to gain points on Tyler Reddick if he could get to the front and win this race. And he turned it on, and he cut that points lead down from 97 points difference between Reddick and Hamlin to 51 points between Hamlin and Reddick. So he cut into it. almost by half. Not quite, but almost by half he cut that down. So if somebody has a bad day, that is your opportunity to close up that window. Especially once Bell was out of the way too. Yes.
I bring up the question, and both of you can answer this. Hamlin getting hot. Is this the right time, being that we have Pocono that is strong, that he's strong at, and then after Pocono is back-to-back road course races? Did he come alive at the right time, or do you think it's too early?
I think he came alive at a good time. This is a good stretch for him, but I don't know. He might prove me wrong. Okay, I'm going to say that out front, but it's hard to sustain that kind of momentum through the chase. So I kind of anticipate that maybe after Pocono, he might slow down a little bit and try to be on the student side of things, if you will. He's a student anyway. It's not like he's not after every race, but I think he might slow down a little bit to try to come back during the chase. We'll see if that happens, but I think it's very, very difficult to sustain that kind of momentum from this period through November. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. He might not have to, because if he can get that points lead and do what Tyler Reddick did in the first part of the season, it could end up being that nobody's going to be able to catch him. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I just don't want to sit here and say that that Hamlin hasn't been on a hot streak for a minute now. I mean, the guy's got 18 wins since he turned 40 years of age. He's got 8 wins in the last 2 seasons. I don't know if there's a hotter driver right now in the Cup Series. I think I've said that already. Like, it's really, this is Hamlin's ball field, obviously, and everybody else is just playing in it, because he either owns the car that's winning, or he's winning it himself. And he has great teammates. Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell. We're kind of all sitting on our hat with that one. Like, where's these guys at? Well, it's not where these guys are at. It's just, you got to beat Denny. You got to beat Denny, or you got to beat Reddick. One of the two. It's kind of wild how Reddick has cooled off from his early sizzle. He's kind of like that. Remember at Applebee's when they would carry the hot fajitas through the dining room, and then by the time it gets to the table,
or those hot sizzling cast iron plates or whatever they have.
Yeah, you know it. They look awesome going through.
I know those deals all too well.
But Reddick has been in the top 10. He's just not been winning like he was at the beginning. It's not that he's doing poorly. He just has not been winning. And so that's Hunter is saying he'll fall back a bit while Reddick gains back a lead at Sonoma and San Diego. Mm-hmm. That is where Hamlin's going to fall back, because road courses are not his gig. He is. Yeah. So he's going to start falling back, I think, after Pocono. And we'll see what happens at Pocono. So he brings up a good point. He says, could Hamlin get 11 wins in 2026? 11 wins for the 11?
I mean, Larson got 10, but he got his 10th win by getting a championship. I mean, that was kind of a stretch.
Yeah, so you never know. He says Hunter says a good day for Hamlin at a road course is a top 10.
Yeah.
And could each of the big 3 have 2 cars each missing the chase?
We'll get to that point.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, hit the brakes on that one, because I want to say as well, and I had this thought just a second ago, we typically talk about 4 players for the playoff structure, right? Who's the big 3 or who's the big 4? Right now we got a big 2, and everybody else is kind of bundled up in this whole, are we for real? Are we doing anything? It's kind of like the stick figure poking the tire, like what's really going on here? Do we have any more contenders? Yeah, do something, right? And so, look, the greatest thing about the chase format is it's going to be similar to the playoffs. We reset these points. So you got Tyler Reddick, who's running away with it right now, but he's only going to be a certain amount of points ahead of second place and third place and fourth place and so on. So, we're going to find out who the doers and who the ain'ters are as we go into. I know I love making up words. Y'all just laugh at me, okay? Who is the ain'ters? I don't know. Like, the ain'ts. They ain't gonna do nothing. So let's talk like Dale Jr. here for a few minutes. Speaking of, if y'all didn't catch the Dale Jr. jump scare trend, it's absolutely hilarious. We'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Okay. I just kind of want to continue with what I was talking about real quick. You guys were talking about Hamlin kind of hinted that Brent Cruz might be taken over the number 11 when he retires. They need to do with Brent Cruz like they did with Corey Heim. Give him some seat time in the Cup Series, and I don't think they can do that. But he needs to be at the track on Sundays. Come on, do something.
I had to do it for you.
He needs to be at the track, taking notes and learning like Corey Heim did during his part-time season. I question whether or not he's ready for Cup. But we're talking about 27. We're talking about him going into that car in 28 because Hamlin's not going to retire until 27. So take advantage of that year and be side by side with Denny Hamlin and learn everything you can. I hope they do that with him during that year and maybe even this year. I told you about clicking into gear. Let's see. I've got a note here about Reddick. Yeah, he was about to win. I know Hunter Blazer said that. Time to 27. What did I say about that? I don't know what my notes are now. But Reddick is going to come back, I think, in these next two races that are road courses. And it's going to be fun to kind of watch how that points battle is going to jockey over these next several races.
Yeah, let me add to that. Isn't it awesome? Like, 2 months ago or a month ago, we were already giving it away to Tyler Reddick. And we just saw how quickly Denny Hamlin got things in gear and started to really track him down. There's such a difference. As I said just before, we know who the top two are, but who's the top three or top four? There's a significant difference once you get out of Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin. Tyler Reddick was 669, Denny Hamlin 618, Ryan Blaney 512 points. Then it drops down in the 400s. Chase Elliott 482, and that's where kind of things tighten up. There's about a 50-point difference between fourth and eighth. So even Daniel Suarez is knocking on the door there at 418. Of course, Christopher Bell at 410. So really, like, we're jockeying for two other spots and that really have a significant chance to go on and win a Cup championship. And right now, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, those are the front runners for those other two spots. But who knows? There's still a chance for maybe a top 10 driver to chase them down. And that should probably lead us to our next subject about.
Well, let me just go one other thing I wanted to mention.
Go ahead.
Okay. Zilisch, you guys talked about Zilisch and how quick he was out. He is a testament to how difficult this next gen car is to adapt to. And they should have done with Zilisch what Corey Heim did. They should have given him more time to kind of acclimate. And I know that he did race a few races, but it wasn't enough. He needs to be at the track. He needs to be taking those notes. He is so down right now. Coming into the O'Reilly series and being able to win some of those, I think is a real morale booster for him because he is having a very rough year. So it shows you the difference between what they did with Heim and what they didn't do with Zilisch. They did it right with Heim. They didn't do it right with Zilisch, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and the big question is whether or not our old way of doing things is even the right way now. After watching Zilisch and watching the struggle that he's having in the Cup car, it makes you wonder, does Brent Cruz, is he going to be in the same situation? We saw the struggling Carson Hocevar, right, the first year. We're seeing the struggling of Connor Zilisch. Carson, it took him a year and a half, 2 years to get acclimated to the car. He's doing a really good job now. It's crazy how good he is, as a matter of fact. But is Brent Cruz being sent down the right path for success as well, being that he's being groomed in the O'Reilly series? And you look at the success that Heim has been able to do, just going from the trucks directly over to Cup. it seems to be that may be the better way, because Heim has been competitive in the Cup Series with hardly any O'Reilly Race Series background. So that is a big question there of whether
Cruz
or
should
not
fill in for any JGR driver that misses a race for whatever reason until
he needs that seat
2028.
time. Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
he needs
that
that seat time. I
And I
agree.
thought that maybe that was going to happen here with the your recent announcement of Christopher Bell, but that's part of the next subject.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is Christopher Bell, as Chris puts it. Holy shnikes, that's one way to word it. Christopher Bell gets TKO'd.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Christopher Bell gets TKO'd. We found out the news earlier today. Suffered a fractured wrist in the incident, but he is cleared for Pocono. The first thing I want to mention is, look, it's good to see that. It's good to see that.
We're getting some music.
Are you playing some Michael Jackson back there, or what?
No, I think I know what he's playing.
Well, it may have started too early.
Ring my bell.
Ring my bell. Now that's an old one. Miss Sharon going to step up on that one. Yeah. Ring my bell.
But with the whole Bell scenario, I mean, what a dent he put into the wall. I mean, or I should say more so of the safer barriers.
Yes.
I mean, the foam safer barriers to separate the inner wall from the really hardcore outside wall. Those really took a punishment. I don't think I've seen a hit like that in quite some time. I think I saw something where this was the hardest hit in a next gen car to date. And I don't know how you guys saw it. I know the broadcast saw it as Chase was just loose and he overcorrected. The loose part I get. I did see the bobble there. But I think I don't think it's so much of overcorrect. I feel like something internally broke, because there is no way you make an adjustment for going that little bit of loose, and all of a sudden you're going directly to that outside wall in a blink of an eye. So I feel like something broke that just caused the car to just snap. Luckily that Bell and Chase Elliott walked out, and everything was okay. But yeah, the only question I have is, does JGR bring a backup driver for Christopher Bell? Should Bell not be able to finish the race? I feel like maybe this is a call for, I mean, we just talked about him. Is this kind of where Brent Cruz, kind of be on standby for Christopher Bell if Bell can't finish the deed? Granted, all Bell's got to do to get points for him is to at least start the race. So that's the question mark there.
And you can leave that as a question, and I'm going to tell you, you're crazy. Christopher Bell is going to race every lap of that race car because he knows that he's in a championship battle, and every point that he can get, it's going to be self-gratifying. If he steps out of that race car, he's accepting defeat. He's accepting giving up on a championship this season, because first of all, if he were to miss any race whatsoever, he would probably get a voucher or whatever it is where NASCAR allows you to miss a race and you're still eligible. But if you step out of the race car and something happens and Brent Cruz doesn't accumulate well, or the car tears up, anything that happens, Christopher Bell is going to hang his season on that finish. I know you, Taz. I know Miss Sharon. Given that situation, you want to control your own destiny. And giving up the seat will not be controlling your own destiny. And I think that he's in a furious points battle. He's out to prove that he is the future at JGR. He's the guy that, in a couple of years, he'll be the number one man at JGR. I know that sounds like wild, but Christopher Bell will be the what is it called when you're the oldest?
The Top Gun?
Well, yeah, the Top Gun. I mean, if you want to use that term, that's fine. But he's definitely going to be the senior staff member of that organization. So I think that Christopher Bell can lock in this kind of situation. It's really weird. Like, you watch athletes over time. Everybody knows about the flu game by Jordan, right? Like the flu game and the stomach flu, the bug. But he went out there and scored 50 points. Denny Hamlin going off and having an extremely good year. Brad Keselowski breaks his ankle at a practice at Watkins Glen, goes on to win a championship. Kyle Busch breaks his legs at Daytona, goes and wins a championship. I mean, that's the defining moment in one's career. Does he step out and let somebody else get in behind the wheel, or does he become the wily veteran and tough it out and learn something? I really, once he was cleared by NASCAR, I told myself there's no way Christopher Bell is going to step out of that race car. He knows that it means too much if he does step out of the race car. If they weren't, if he was buried like 12th, 14th, something like that in the point standings, you don't have much to lose there. But when you're 10th and you're 50 points back from that number 4 spot, yeah, you're not going to put yourself in a position where you're 50 more points behind. Let's put it like that. So Christopher Bell, he's going to, even though he got his bell rung, he's going to be in that cockpit and racing for a win at Pocono, I believe, wholeheartedly. Now, let's talk about that hit, because we've seen some vicious hits in NASCAR. I mean, like, if you've been around NASCAR a long time, you've watched Bobby Allison go up in the catch fence. You've seen Austin Dillon go up in the catch fence. I can even remember Jeff Bodine in a truck tearing the truck apart in the catch fence. Guys, this wreck was more like Dale Earnhardt hitting the wall, right, wide open. And I know a lot of people say, well, it didn't look that bad or whatever. But when you look at the damage of the race car and you look at the angle that he hit at, it was a vicious hit. It wasn't just an ordinary hit, as we've been told so many times, or our jaws wouldn't drop every time that we think that hit in itself has been replicated throughout the years in certain situations. Guys, when he hit that wall and you seen the rear window coming out, flying over the racetrack, and you watched the in-car camera of basically something flapping inside the car that had come unbolted, which we found out later on was the front of the fender that actually come into the race car there. Thank goodness that fender didn't reach over and possibly cut. I mean, we're talking about metal, right? I mean, I know they're composite bodies, but at the same time, something like that coming through a windshield, if it were to mark the driver, we could have been dealing with a very bad situation there. That just shows how violent that hit was. I think we all moved to the edge of our seat. We were waiting to see that window net come down. And Elliott Sadler at Pocono, where the engine come out of the car. I mean, there's just certain hits where that was a violent hit. And I think that NASCAR actually come out and stated that was on record the hardest hit ever by a NASCAR Cup car. So something about a Delta 5 or something like that. I've never even heard Delta V.
Yeah,
Is that what it was unreal, like the terminology they were using. Normally, I think we picked that up in G-forces, but maybe there's a pilot or something listening that can actually tell us what a Delta V is or whatever. But it was that extreme of force. We're lucky we did not lose a driver. It is crazy when you look at that Kurt Busch, his career ended by a rear end impact that has basically retired a racer that was still in his prime, versus the contact that we've seen this weekend. There's really no doubt that this car is a lot safer than I think a lot of us gave credit for in the beginning. But even still, such a massive hit, and to tear the wall down like that, there was an indention in the wall. That was unreal. Just it gave us all a heart attack, and at my age, I tell you what, those are hard to recover from. But thank goodness it was no worse. And the one thing I think that was said is he's going to try to make sure that he does like Danica Patrick and pulls his hands back from the steering wheel. So I I told y'all, Danica Patrick for the Hall of Fame. I mean, she did amazing things for NASCAR. What is?
So I want to hit on.
I was long-winded on that one. I'm sorry.
I want to hit on this before we get to Sharon quick. Before we wrap up our green flag headlines, I know we have like 2 or 3 things to quickly hit upon to wrap up our first hour. Delta V is a physics term that measures total change in speed and direction of a vehicle or spacecraft during an event. In car collisions, delta V measures the severity of the crash by calculating the difference in the vehicle's speed immediately before and immediately after the impact. Because it measures how rapid, because the injury correlation measures how rapidly a vehicle's speed changes, delta V is a primary predictor of occupant injury risk, especially in whiplash and brain injuries. Even in low-speed accidents, a high delta V over a very short time frame produces intense acceleration forces. In terms of reconstruction, it is calculated using accident reconstruction formulas or retrieved directly from the vehicle's event data recorder. That's pretty. Then it goes into like the space part of it, but we only care about the automotive side.
Right.
Yeah, quite frankly, a little bit surprised he didn't get a concussion with that hit. I thought he might be out for a couple of races anyway to recover from a concussion, not to mention the wrist and the ankle. And I think his ankle was very badly bruised. So he's got that to deal with too. Do we know if it was his right or left arm? Because
it was his left.
It was his left. Okay, so his right arm is free to do that shifting because Jamie brought that up. He says if it was Bell's right hand where he needs to shift, it'll be a different story. I'm sure he races, but isn't much in contention. That was the worst wreck in years. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I really thought he might get a concussion out of it. But Bell also has the owner points to consider, just to address what Chris was talking about as well. And you said there might be a backup for Bell. I agree with Chris.
I haven't heard anything. The question is there going to be, does Gibbs plan on having a backup driver just in that scenario? I know Bell will probably say, I don't need one. It's like Chris said, Bell will probably say, I don't need one. I don't want one. But we all know Gibbs, if he plays the football coach role, he's going to have a substitute on the back burner just in case. If Bell really pushes it and Gibbs says, look, because like I said, if Bell takes the green flag for Pocono, regardless if he's in the car or somebody else is in the car, the points go to him. But if Bell does not start the race for Pocono, then that's where the waiver process comes into play. But Bell just has to at least start the race to get points to count for him, and he can miss the waiver process.
Jamie's asking, do they have to announce a possible backup driver?
I would say they have to. I would say we probably won't find out until like the actual race weekend. So probably Friday or Saturday. And I'm sure there'll be interviews. There'll be questions. The media will probably swarm them with that
questions.
Yeah.
But Chase, I got to give kudos to Chase. He did know right away, and he showed a definite concern for his fellow competitor. He went over there to console him. He knew it was a hard hit right away. And he's asking, do you lose track position with a backup guy going in the car? Yes, you do.
I mean, anytime you go to pit road, it's going to take a considerable amount of time. But typically a fast race car. Look, Denny Hamlin took over a race car from Eric Amarola in the Xfinity Series or Nationwide Series many, many, many years ago and drove it from the rear all the way to take the checker flag. I believe it was like Milwaukee or something. I don't know. I've watched too many races, but yeah, it's definitely all that can happen is they could possibly go a lap down in the transfer, but he will go to the rear of the field, of course, by changing out the drivers because of the amount of time that it would take to transfer the drivers
If
into the seat.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
If Christopher Bell does get out of the car, he's hurt pretty bad, because I don't anticipate that he's going to want to get out of that car.
Oh, I agree. All right, Taz.
All right. I think that'll wrap up the Christopher Bell situation. We have a little bit of time to cover on our green flag headlines to wrap up our first hour. We have
this one's a big one.
I want to name these three off, and then we'll kind of elaborate a little bit. Carson Hocevar blamed for the restart mayhem. Erik Jones was the best finish of the season. And Prime may be a good broadcast, but fans want racing on regular TV.
And you know how we know? You know how we know that? Because our poll question last week literally told us. We had over 1,000 people that voted, and 83% of them said that they wanted racing back on regular TV. So as good as the broadcast has been for Prime, the people have spoken. They like Prime, but they would much rather it be on regular TV than any streaming service. And I said, with Miss Sharon, that I've not watched the Braves game all year. They elected to go to a streaming service instead of being on cable television, and I just didn't pay the $100. I'm $100 out. I mean, I love the Braves, but similar to the NFL Sunday ticket. If we get down on into the stretch and it's offered for $35-$40, I may take up the offer to watch the last two seasons or something. But I just at the time was not going to invest that amount of money to watch the Braves for them to come out and stink the first 5-6 races of the season. I mean, races of the first 3 months of the season, and then feel like I wasted that $100. Similar to you, Taz, is not picking up Prime. You're a prime example. You do a podcast, and you still said, "Look, man, it's just." The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Like, I have to change out all kinds of stuff in order to get Prime, and to do that. And in the end, I can just catch the highlights, which is unfortunate because that means even in the event of gaining viewerships, as we've seen the Adam Stern.
Do you want me to put that up?
Yeah, please. I mean, this is a big deal here. Look, 2.07 million viewers for Sunday's NASCAR Cup race, up 17% from last year. Last week we did not have much of a squeeze on our viewership. Of course, the week before we were dealing with the untimely death of Kyle Busch, which I think really brought a whole slew of traffic over to the race because of the situation. But all in all, even though we've had some fans fall off because they didn't follow us over to Prime, it is funny that 83% of our poll question with over 1,000 entries was that they wanted racing back over on traditional television, even with as crappy as the broadcasts are sometimes and as well as Prime has done. But to back it up, let's go to Carson real quick. I think Carson was unfortunately pointed out as the bad guy in that restart. We all seen that Larson did not get the jump that he was planning to get, or maybe he was playing games because there was a Hendrick car to the outside of him. The accordion effect happened. I think Hocevar was going to go down low anyway and did not realize that Larson didn't get the jump that he got, and so that kind of created the contact. But you can't fault the guy for planning his move and somebody ahead of him causing chaos. And I'm just really disappointed at Daniel Trotta, at Corey LaJoie, and Martin Truex Jr. for trying to get Carson Hocevar in the post-race interview to admit that he was at fault. Carson was kind of like, you guys are ganging up on me. I mean, you're kind of wanting me to admit that it was my fault, and I just really didn't see it that way. And Dale Jr., God bless the NASCAR Jesus, because he was like, look, guys, like, no, don't sit over here and take that. Carson, you're a race car driver. You did what you had to do, and I believe that wholeheartedly. The fact that what was it that I actually copied this. Richard Childress made a dumb statement after all the stuff that he's been said about him. Let's see what he said. He had something pretty obtuse to say. anytime their eyes are that close together, it means they got a small brain. Like, take off your glasses, Richard Childress. Let's see where your eyes are setting, because you're talking about the guy who's being called the Intimidator. Like, this guy is being compared to a young Dale Earnhardt. And then Richard Childress up there in the booth. I mean, look, last time he had to take his watch off, he wound up hiring the driver. So I don't know, man. Maybe this is Richard's way of reaching out and saying, hey, man, I want you to drive my race cars one day. But I don't think Richard Childress is going to be around, at least the organization in itself, at the prime of Carson Hocevar's career. But that's beside the fact. And the last one, Erik Jones, we have been waiting for the investments that Jimmy Johnson has brought to Legacy Motor Club. I see you over there. You're ready, man. I got you. And this is one of those tracks where Erik Jones has always been good. It seems like particular tracks really stand out for Jones, but we've got to see more of this out of him. Taz will tell you, I have been a fan of Jones. I have talked about him more than what I think he's probably deserved based off of his stats. But I've always believed in Erik Jones. I've always believed that this kid had a chance to be a superstar in the sport. And I'm going to continue to sing that song, even if it never turns out. I mean, I built the hill, I'll die on it, right? That's where I stand. But it was really great to see him have such a good run. He chased him down at the end. It was no fluke. All, Denny Hamlin had to have had was a tire blowout or a mechanical issue, and we would be talking about Erik Jones in victory lane this weekend at Michigan International Speedway.
All right, Sharon, I'm going to share screen something here, so get ready.
Okay.
You guys are going to laugh your pants off.
I'm already laughing. Oh, I saw this. There you go.
I had to get that up there.
Hold
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah, I don't think Hocevar should be really to blame for it. I know Dale said that should Hocevar own up to some of his mistakes? Yeah, sure, but should he change who he is? No. And I agree with that. Let Hocevar be Hocevar.
He is the next Rowdy. He is the next Dale Earnhardt.
There you go.
And he don't give a damn.
Yeah. Cletus McFarland 2.0.
He don't give a darn. Let that kid race. Let him do what he does. And anybody that tries to change it or say that he doesn't need to do this or that, get on out of here.
The one thing that
Junior has this kid's back. Go with it.
The one thing that these drivers got to, I get like in heat of the moment, but like, and I know these drivers know this thing because it's mentioned in the broadcast, and they even mentioned it during this incident. These next gen bumpers, front to rear, if you don't square them up right, you're gonna turn somebody.
Right.
And that was just it. Hocevar was trying to bump draft somebody, give somebody a push, and it just didn't square right. And away the whole field goes. In terms of Erik Jones, man, I'm still kind of feeling defeat of not taking that Jones boy after high praise that I freaking did. Yeah, I think he's the flagship guy at Legacy. I think I would fully believe that he's been the flagship of Legacy. Shoot, he's been the flagship of Richard Petty Motorsports before it got rebranded to Legacy. He's been the guy. I mean, I hope if Jones keeps staying with Legacy in the next few years, that maybe we'll see at least one competitive car out of the Legacy camp more often. And as a Jimmy Johnson fan, that's huge. But yeah, in terms of the Prime thing, Yeah, the broadcasters have been doing pretty well, but I can understand why people would want it on TV. I mean, you're paying for the TV anyway, but so why not why pay for an extra service to watch the races? Oh, my Lord, Chris.
Hold on, I'm trying to get to it. Give me a second.
Y'all ready for this one?
Okay, I'm trying.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I should just send it to Sharon first, that way nobody can see it. Because Sharon's got a lot better. She's got a lot better hold than you right now, Taz. Everybody's wondering what is going on.
I know. I'm trying to get to it. Sorry.
Yeah, Richard was talking about how close somebody's eyes are in their intelligence. So I just wanted to ask you guys how smart this guy looks.
Oh, I don't know about you guys.
Oh Lord! All right, Richard Childress.
Okay,
take that down.
That's why this is not the. This is the R version. Oh my gosh, you guys!
He knows eyes are pretty far apart. Oh man! Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Back
up subject here. My abs hurt now, but my Lord.
Okay, so whose turn is it? You want me to?
I think it's yours.
I think it's yours. Hocevar, Jones, and then Prime.
Okay.
Before we get into our watch list.
Okay. And we talked about this on Hot Topics on Monday night as well. And I'll say the same thing. Yes, I agree with you. Larson did not get a good restart. Hocevar can't see Larson from his seat. He had John Hunter Nemechek in front of him. I don't know if I can do this. Hamlin, I don't know if I can illustrate this or not. But Hamlin's car, if you look at where Kyle Larson was, the front of his car was at the back of Hamlin's car. Okay, there's something going on here.
He did the ET.
Okay.
Did the ET reference.
He did not get a good restart. Let's just go with that. He did not get a good restart. Hocevar cannot see that from where he's sitting, and so his thing is it's go time. This is a restart, and because as you said, Chris, it was an accordion effect. John Hunter Nemechek saw it. He slowed up, but Hocevar was on go time, and so that's why that happened. And I'm a little disappointed that the broadcast booth, I guess they did, but they tore down Hocevar first before they finally took a second look at it.
Yeah, Dale Jr. was the first one to defend him.
Yes, and Dale Jr. was the first one to defend him. So I give Dale Jr. the kudos on that. But they were too quick to jump on Hocevar, and I feel bad for the guy because it's almost like a few years ago when we talked about Chastaning, and now it's Hocevaring everything. No matter what,
Hurricane the field.
He's going to get blamed for it, and this was not his fault. And going back to the Chase Elliott, somebody said it here. Hocevar got more static than Chase Elliott got, and neither one of them was their fault.
Right.
We've had this discussion before. Chase Elliott can do just about anything and never get blamed. But if Ross Chastain or Carson Hocevar, if some of those guys do anything, they are so quick to blame them without really looking at it objectively.
Right.
And it took a while for people to look at that situation objectively. And I think that's they need to look at that and reconsider how they cover those kind of things, because I saw it right away that it was Kyle Larson when I saw that replay. So if I saw it, I don't know why they didn't see it. And they did eventually, but it took them too long to get there in my point of view.
Yeah, let's look over there at what the comments. Honestly, Hunter Blazer said, honestly, cable costs so much. Best way to do it is get Sling TV and Prime. Cheapest way to watch everything, but no CW channel. And that is a great point. YouTube is definitely something I'm thinking about when we go to TNT because in USA because the package that I had turned off because my cable bill was running $300 a month. I cut back. So, now I'm going to have to make some arrangements, but YouTube TV looks really good. As Miss Lee Reed said, that is why I got YouTube TV Plus. I get my local channels and don't have to change packages every couple of months. Now, Miss Lee, let me ask you real quick. Is CW offered on that package? Because I did not even think about it. It is offered on the YouTube. All right, there it goes. Xfinity, loved you, but y'all are about to be out of here as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So
that's what we have.
Yeah.
Well,
Xfinity? Y'all have Xfinity?
No, we have YouTube TV.
YouTube. Oh, okay. The only thing is you can only have up to 2 TVs, I think, that can play it at one time, and I have a house full. But they watch their own stuff, and most of the time it doesn't come from anything off of regular TV. So, but CW and Fox. Let's look at the IndyCar and let's look at CW. The CW's having numbers this year, like unbelievable numbers, and it's because they are accessible. They're easily accessible through CW, which is on everything because it's a free channel, and it's really helped boost the ratings for the O'Reilly Race Series. So, and IndyCar is probably riding a high that they haven't had in years because they're on Fox, and they took a really low TV package. I think $8 million is all they paid for the broadcasting rights, but look at the benefits that the Indy car is getting off of that network, off of being able to, and think about all the stuff that Fox can afford to do for IndyCar, being that they didn't pay $1 billion to access their programming. So, in this economy, a paywall is an instant no-go for me. I feel that. I really do. And I think that a lot of people are there and they feel that. Now, we have Prime. We automatically have it because we order a lot of stuff online. We live out in the country. We live far away from the cities. So we have access to Walmart Plus and Prime and all the good stuff so that we can have things delivered.
I have Walmart Plus for free.
Right now, how much is YouTube TV a month? It's a package right now, $62, I think. It goes up to maybe $82 or something after 3 months. But even still, I got basic cable with the sports package, and my total cable bill with my internet is over $225 a month, which is unreal. I mean,
I have Hulu TV, and with Hulu TV, it's $95 a month, but I can also get Disney Plus, and I also get ESPN Unlimited. So I don't pay anything extra for either one of those because it comes with my Hulu TV package. And I also have Prime because I'm in the same situation as you. I use the free shipping on Amazon quite a lot. And so to me, I get a lot of value for what I pay for the Prime Video, and it comes with the Amazon Prime. So I don't pay anything extra for it. I'm already paying for the free shipping with Amazon. So for me, I think the best deal is Hulu TV, where I can get the Disney Plus and the ESPN Unlimited absolutely free. I don't pay anything extra for those. So, and it includes the CW network with Hulu as well. But I also get the apps because I do travel a little bit. So when I travel, I can use the apps and still be able to see all of those things as well. So, and I don't, if somebody else is watching something where I'm at, I can always go to a different room and pull up the race or whatever. So it works out really well. And I understand where people are coming from. If you're on a budget and everything, you don't want to pay anything extra. So what I suggest NASCAR do, for those of us that are already paying for those features, why not simulcast it on the NASCAR channel that you can get free on Samsung TV Plus? You can get it free on Roku TV. You can get it free on Zumo, which is a free TV app. Put it on somewhere where those people that can't afford to pay the extra dollars, put it on the free NASCAR channel.
Tubi
TV is another one. Yes. Tubi TV has the NASCAR channel. Simulcast it on there. And then all of these folks that are struggling with being able to watch it, they can still see it on a free NASCAR channel. So I think that is the best thing. Now, I know on Roku TV that what they kind of advertise during the commercial breaks, they kind of advertise other channels on Roku TV. I don't know what you get with, and you still get commercials. Wondering if I switch, will I get YouTube Music included? No, I think you still got to pay extra for YouTube Music.
I'm definitely interested in the YouTube TV. We're all looking for different options.
Yes.
And I think that's something that, I believe that Charter and Spectrum and Xfinity, they're at their dying end. They're going to have to make, which, we have one TV in this entire house that's actually hooked up to a cable line. The rest of our TVs are connected through Xfinity Stream. So even though we have cable, we still mostly stream everything through our Roku TVs through the Xfinity Stream, because it's no use in having cable lines run all through the house and plugged into a wall. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I think we're ready for the one of the biggest.
Well, just real quick, I want to say about Erik Jones.
Yes.
I didn't get to comment on him.
Yeah.
Erik Jones, I've always known that Erik Jones is a really good driver. We started following him way back when, before he was even in the Can-Am Pro Series, which is what it was called at that point. We were talking to him about his late model racing. And I remember Erik Jones too at Chicagoland when everybody else was complaining. And this is when I was always an Erik Jones fan, but this kind of sealed the deal for me. When everybody else was complaining about the bumps over in turn 3 at Chicagoland, after Erik Jones won that race and he came into the media center, I asked him about the bumps over in turn 3, that everybody that whole weekend was complaining about those bumps. And he said, listen, that's the thing about, we all have to deal with that. The bumps aren't going to go away. So it's my job to figure out how to get around those bumps and make the most of it. And he did it that day at Chicagoland Speedway. And so that sealed the deal for me as far as Erik Jones knowing how to race a car. And I remember him telling us too, when we had the discussion about having Kyle Busch come down to the lower series, he said right away, he says, if I'm going to be the best, I've got to be able to beat the best. So Erik Jones has always been a driver that's going to figure out a way to make it work. And I've seen it over the years with him. And I think he is on his way to doing that at Legacy Motor Club. He has been given a raw deal over and over again. And I hope he's found a home at Legacy Motor Club, and they keep him there for a while. And I think he is going to be their flagship driver. I like Erik Jones, and I was so happy to see him come in second this week. So that's all I'm going to say.
All right, let's get over to our wonderful Chris. You ready for the jingle?
Stat of the day. Stat of the day.
I've got it
Here
here.
comes that what? Stat of the day.
Bah.
All right, let me get it pulled up here. So, oh my goodness. Carson Hocevar scored his 4th top 5 of the season. He had 3 top 5s in his career prior to 2026. I also added an extra stat of the day. Stat of the day.
Number 2.
Yeah, we didn't post this one, but I did want to read it. There were 2,169 nice passes between 36 drivers across 146 laps under green at Michigan International Speedway. That's the least in 5 Gen 7 starts. Shane Van Gisbergen had the most in the field with 103, despite only completing 154 laps. So what it says is passing is hard. and it's not easy. And I think that that really gives us an insight of how tough the competition is right now. But typically, Michigan is what it is. It's kind of a follow the leader. It has the size, it has the look, but it's by no means a drafting racetrack similar to like a Talladega or a Daytona or even in Atlanta. Why? I've never really figured it out, but it has always been a kind of follow the leader type racetrack. Now, Miss Sharon, I think this is your turn to come on and talk about some upcoming shows on Fan for Racing.
Yep, we have the watch list. So, Sharon, go ahead and take it away.
Well, actually, we're doing something different now, and I'm kind of excited about it. We have our NASCAR bits and pieces, and I was going to try to bring that up, but I don't think I'm going to do it now. Where on Monday, I come out and give you an overview of what our programming is going to be for the week. And then I did a midweek bits and pieces today, and we brought Chris onto the show to talk about Race Chat Live. And tomorrow I'm going to do another bits and pieces in which I'm going to feature some of the drivers going into Pocono. I've got a few drivers I want to talk about and give some heads up on that. But every week it'll be something different. Bits and pieces will come out on a sporadic basis. There might be some weeks that we only have the Monday weekend review where I let you know what is going to happen for the week. This week, we're going to go ahead and do the watch list because it's the first week that we're doing this. But if you haven't already seen it, you do want to go to that bits and pieces. It gives you a little bit more detail. And then today, Chris gave us a little bit more detail about what Race Chat Live is all about. But we always start Monday with NASCAR Hot Topics Sound Off 8:15. It is a live stream, 8:15 Central Time. It's a live stream where we review the weekend of racing by series, and we discuss all the associated hot topics as well as additional hot topics. And we have a really good fan interaction over there where the fans chime in with their thoughts, similar to what we're doing here tonight. And they get involved with the conversation throughout the show. Tuesday, there was an interview with Cole Denton. Cole Denton won the ARCA West race out at, all of a sudden it's not coming to me, the racetrack this weekend, Tri-City Raceway. And Cole, the thing you need to know about Cole Denton is he's never raced at any of these tracks except for Kern County Raceway, Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. He won at Tucson, having never raced that track before. He won at Tri-City, having never raced that track before. And he beat Trevor Huddleston. So Cole Denton is the real deal. You'll want to listen to that interview. On Wednesday. What happens on Wednesday?
Race Chat Live.
There you go. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time is Race Chat Live. And I'm going to assume that those of you that are tuning in already know what happens at Race Chat Live. But if you want to have an in-depth preview, listen to our bits and pieces that we put out earlier today, because Chris went through the whole ball of wax, if you will, of what Race Chat Live is all about. Tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to start posting our previews that Jay and I do for the upcoming weekend of racing at Pocono. ARCA Menards on Friday afternoon. Saturday, you've got the O'Reilly Series, and Sunday is the Cup Series. So 3 previews this week that will be coming out between Thursday and Friday. And then what happens on Friday, Taz?
We got the Fantasy Report.
The Fantasy Report, and we'll be helping you with your fantasy picks for the NASCAR Cup Series at Pocono. So you want to tune in for that. And I can't wait to see where we are. I know we're neck and neck, Taz.
Yeah, I know. I haven't done points yet for Michigan,
Okay.
but I know it was
3
one week
points?
you were ahead by like 7. The next week I think heading into this week I was ahead by 3 or 4 or something like that. So We got to be close.
We got to be close. And then I don't know. Are we going to talk about the in-season tournament tonight?
That's what we're going to be getting to here.
Okay, so I'll hand off.
All right, folks. Well, thank you, Miss Sharon, for the watch list, and be sure to look into those bits and pieces clips right there. As we get ready to kick off our second hour by going under the hood. Of course, we talk about controversy and deep dive discussion. First things first on the agenda for that, as we have about 20 minutes to try to see if we can, or 20 to 25 minutes, maybe 30 at the very most to try to get through this. First things first, we're going to talk about the NASCAR In-Season Challenge. They are bringing it back for 2026 after the inaugural running last year. Only difference between last year and this year, last year they had 3 seeding races. This year NASCAR is doing away with it. But have no fear, we got an announcement to make. If you missed Friday's fantasy report and you missed Monday's Hot Topic Sound Off with Sharon and Mr. Jay Huseman, us folks at Fan for Racing, 110 Nation, and Race Chat Live will be having our own NASCAR In-Season Challenge tournament. We are going to, because NASCAR said scrap the 3 seeding deal, and because we're in the spirit of the World Cup that will be starting tomorrow, that, of course, USA is kind of co-hosting with Canada and Mexico, we're gonna throw in the 3 seeding races to determine our tournament bracket. So Michigan was the first of the 3 races. Pocono is the second one, and San Diego will be the third. Now, this is the part where you fans will start coming into play. Once we have the seeding finalized after San Diego, for our challenge, we are going to let you fans fill out the bracket once we release it, and you're going to fill it out just like March Madness. If you want to compete in it for bragging rights, you are more than welcome to. Challenge us. See if you have what it takes to knock one of us. I don't really want to say expertise, but I guess we'll say amateur experts, if you will. See if you have what it takes to knock us down. Of course, as we see here, Michigan, Pocono, San Diego, the seeding races. Basically, we have 36 drivers that are going to try to get the best average finish possible to make it into the 32 driver bracket. Once the San Diego race is concluded, either the Monday or Tuesday, the very latest after San Diego, the bracket will be posted on all of our social media pages, and you, the fans, will be able to fill that out. As I mentioned, you're going to basically fill it out like a March Madness bracket. You see the matchup. Basically, if there's a matchup of like Ty Gibbs versus AJ Allmendinger at Sonoma, you're going to pick who's going to be finishing ahead of who on that matchup, and you keep filling out the whole bracket. Similar to March Madness, that basic deal. And of course, you're going to challenge us from Fan for Racing, 110 Nation, and Race Chat Live. We're going to have a bragging rights champion, so you will. Moving on downwards with that, there's a points breakdown for this. For the round of 32, or should I say the dirty 32, now that the name kind of came up a couple hours ago in my head. For each pick you get out of the dirty 32, you get 10 points towards your total. Then we go to the dirty 32 will be Sonoma Raceway. The Super 16 will be, I had it all in my head. Now I'm like brain farting. The Super 16 will be at Chicagoland, so any of the picks you get correct out of there, there'll be 20 points towards your total. The Elite 8 will host will be at Echo Park Speedway. If you get any correct still standing, any correct pick still standing after that, you get 40 points for each one. 80, and if you have any picks still standing into the Fast Four at North Wilkesboro, you'll get 80 points towards your total. And of course, the championship, if you correctly pick the champion tournament winner at Indianapolis, where the finale is, that is 160 points towards your point total. And there is a tiebreaker into that sense too when you fill out your bracket. Whoever you believe is the champion of the tournament, you have to say what position that driver is going to finish in. So if you have a final of Ryan Blaney versus Chase Briscoe, and you pick Ryan Blaney to win the tournament, you have to put down what position will he finish in, whether it be first, 8th, 23rd, I don't care. Just put down what position he'll finish in to win the tournament. And as you see the bracket there, if you look in the outer numbers of the bracket, don't worry about the inner numbers or the parentheses. Just look at the outer numbers. That's kind of where the seedings will sit. So one will go against 32, 16 against 17. So the outside of the bracket is Sonoma. That's the Dirty 32. Your Super 16 at Chicago. Echo Park will host the Elite 8, the Fast 4 at North Wilkesboro, and then the tournament finale at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So again, the bracket will be released with the top 32, which I think maybe Sharon may have the list of where the drivers are ranking at the very moment after Michigan.
Let me get it. Hold on.
But it's going to be but the top 32 out of 36 drivers with the best average finish will get into the knockout form of the bracket. As you see there's the seeding as of right now after Michigan. If there is a tie in average finish, obviously whoever's got the best finish of the 3 races will get the better seeding. So if Hamlin and Suarez somehow get the same average finish after the 3 races, obviously Hamlin so far will get the tiebreaker because of his win versus Suarez's 6th place finish. But of course that can change. So we'll try to keep this updated as much as we can. So hopefully y'all will be able, so make sure you get into the Facebook pages if you haven't done so already. That's where the brackets will be posted all over.
Yeah, I don't have them up there yet.
110 Nation, Fan for Racing, and Race Chat Live Facebook pages. So yeah, NASCAR
sounds fun. I did not know that NASCAR was doing the bracket challenge this year. We've heard absolutely nothing of it.
Yeah, they have it. They have it in the schedule, and they're doing it without the seeding races. Basically, how they're doing it is after San Diego, top 32 drivers in the driver's standings will go into the bracket challenge instead of doing the 3 seeding races. But because I like to change things up a bit, I like to bring a little bit of flavor. I threw in the 3 seeding races, of course, in spirit of the World Cup this year that North America is hosting. So we're going to do it this way and kind of do a little bit of a bracket challenge of our own right.
And fan challenge, right? I mean, we've got these people, Jamie Weltzer, Mama Bear, Hunter. I'm sorry. Hunter. And of course, all sports all day
on Monday nights.
We want these guys to join in. I mean, they brought extra content to the table. Let's get you guys involved. That's what this is all about. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. You got to do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's called. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, like, get involved. Let's get everybody together. We had an awesome fantasy thing that we did for a few years. We got our listeners involved there. It's going to be a little bit different than the bracket that you fill out. But I also think that this is NASCAR dropping the ball once again because there's not going to be another network that's involved with the bracket challenge other than TNT.
Yeah,
so,
TNT. Yeah, it's gonna go once the bracket challenge starts. It's gonna be TNT broadcasting the races, and then after the bracket challenge, we're going back over to USA and NBC to finish out the season.
And shout out to Miss Lee. She is leading the points. Miss Lee's had several bad seasons in our fantasy picks, and right now, Mama Bear is running away with it, y'all. I mean, I'm putting my best out there, and I still can't catch it.
She's killing me too, and I've been trying to. I think the closest I've ever gotten to her, and I've been sitting in second since I think like Las Vegas. I've been sitting in second place to her since then, and I think the closest point margin I've gotten to her was like 95 points, and I can't get anything smaller than that.
Yeah, so it's still a long season. We're only halfway there, but I mean, Miss Lee has really, and no doubt, congratulations. You've had a tough run for several years now, so you were definitely due for a good one. So I can't wait to do the challenge. When do we need the brackets filled out? After the seeding, right?
So
and we'll announce the seeding here on
once the brackets get released. Fill them out and turn them into our social media pages. Whether if you like, if you could please like take a picture of your bracket, try to write as legible as possible. But sending them to our social media pages. Please turn them in on
it's
no
after
later
Sonoma.
than I would say like midnight Eastern on Saturday. That way, there's Sunday. We can coordinate everything Sunday and go from there.
And that's after Sonoma or?
After San Diego.
After San Diego.
Yep, because Sonoma starts the bracket.
And I promise you, Jamie Sweltzer, I'm very sorry. I look at the name and I'm thinking Jameis, like Jameis Winston. What's the guy's name?
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, the quarterback or whatever. But I realized that is Jamie Sweltzer. So I'm very sorry that Schweitzer. I'm very sorry about that. It's just the way that it's there. It is Jamie Schweitzer. So yes, my bad. I think I've mispronounced that a couple of times. But hey, I'm known for mispronouncing names. So no offense, please. Okay, so I cannot wait to get involved in this bracket challenge. It's time for the Ty Dillon Redemption Tour. But really, I think that NASCAR did this because obviously SVG
bring excitement back at this point because I feel like this is the part of the season where fans kind of fall off.
Yeah, well, SVG, last year stunk it up by not making the final the final 3 seed.
Yeah, he didn't get the knockout portion of it.
And then all of a sudden he goes on this tremendous run and probably would have been there at the end or really close to the end.
Yep.
So I get it, NASCAR changing up some things, but we're going to keep it that way. That way it's more fun and we're not doing exactly what they're doing. But make sure you fill out both brackets because we want this thing to continue and grow, even if it's just one network that's really promoting it.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to it as well.
I got you guys rubbing your hands.
So let's see here. Next for Under the Hood, we have some silly season shakeup. Josh Berry and Wood Brothers announced that Josh Berry will not return to the 21 after we were thinking he was going to get one more year out of it. Wood Brothers worded it as they're not going to give him the option year of his contract. So Josh Berry, who is with Kevin Harvick Incorporated, I'm sure Kevin Harvick and his team will be helping him try to secure a ride for next year. If Berry gets into a cup ride, I hope it's somewhat competitive and better than what Wood Brothers has. If he goes down to the O'Reilly series, it better be a top-notch ride because he went into junior motorsports when he was there and he was kicking butt. So I see it as if he does. My dream scenario, I have two things I can think of with Josh Berry. If Spire and McDowell part ways after this year, I would like to see Berry go over there into that 71 car. If But my real dream scenario is Barry to the Penske 2 car. But yeah, Chris, I know it ain't gonna happen, but that's what I would really love to see. But
the reason why I say that, Taz, isn't to spoil your dreams, but I don't think the way that the announcement happened kind of makes you led to believe that there's not, I mean, either Austin Cindric has bought him some more time in the number 2. Chris Buescher may wind up in the number 2, but obviously Wood Brothers has already pulled the string. I think it's going to be announced in the next week or so.
It seems like Wood Brothers has a driver already.
Yeah, they definitely have a driver already, and I think it's the Love Machine. So,
the Love Machine, I'm going to have to remember that one.
And Jamie is saying, I think this runs much deeper. I think Cindric goes to the 21 car, while Love gets the number 2 car in 27, given no Cindric or Love announcements yet.
Yeah.
So just another point of view.
Yeah. I can look. This is silly season, and I get tuned up. You know, G-Nast has Taylor. I get tuned up. Like I've got different scenarios in my head and how things are going to go. Look, Josh Berry could very well wind up over at the 48 car. I think a lot of us are not sold yet that Alex Bowman will return in 2027. I think that there's been some backroom talks about a possible replacement there, and Josh Berry could very well find himself in a Spire car or in over at the 48 camp at Hendrick. And I really would not be surprised that could be, you know, kind of a stepping stone for Berry. But there's still a whole lot of other stuff that's got to come out in silly season. There's a vacancy there for the 33 car, the former ride of Kyle Busch. I think that's kind of something that may have shaken the scene up. You've already got guys who've said where they're going. Ricky Stenhouse is staying. We know Josh Berry's leaving.
Yeah, we know. I know Austin Hill is deemed for the 33 car for the rest of the season. He will not run for the Cup points, despite that.
Yeah, we definitely know Jesse's not going to be in the RCR car. Obviously, all of that, you have to read between the lines. You know, they did put out an announcement that the reason why he didn't get the 33 cars because of some sponsorship stuff, and that you can halfway believe that. But also, Richard's not going to put a kid in the car to give him experience when he's going to be cut loose at the end of the year anyway. So, you know, excuses are like buttholes. We all got one. And I believe that's exactly what RCR was doing there. Just giving out. Sorry.
This is not the first time I've heard Chris say that.
I know.
But, I mean, look, this is my segment. I love silly season. You know, we don't play silly season. The wheel of silly season for nothing.
We got to get a graphic for that.
Yes, most definitely. But there's going to be some more cards played here. Thoughts from anybody there?
What's that?
What are you guys' thoughts? I mean,
well, I heard, in fact, I was going to bring it up here. I guess I can't bring it up, but I heard that Josh Berry just heard about this yesterday. He found out just yesterday that he was not going to be in the car. And so they're in the process of looking. But I don't think it's going to take long for Josh Berry to find a place to be for the 27 season. He'll stay in the 21 for the rest of this season. It's just a matter of the 2027. Where is he going to be? There's so many scenarios that could play out here. I'm just going to wait for the news.
I definitely believe that he has a home at Junior Motorsports. If all else fails,
yes,
he has a home at Junior Motorsports. Him and Dale are really good friends. And Justin Allgaier, there's reports that he may retire at the end of the year, or soon. So I think that Josh Berry is going to land in a pretty good spot. He's not going to take a step back in his career. There's no reason to do that unless you're going to go to a highly competitive O'Reilly O'Reilly Auto Parts race team such as Junior Motorsports. So,
he said he wasn't surprised given how he's run.
We're already in the middle of June. We're pushing the middle of June. A lot of these guys, dominoes are going to fall fast because everybody's going to be tied up by August. And those big players will be, they'll know where they're going and what they're doing for the upcoming season. The big question mark right now is, of course, Austin Cindric. What's going to happen with that 2 car? So I'm good with that.
Jamie says just yesterday, tells me they secured his replacement just yesterday. I don't know. It might have been. Sometimes they know for a while before they make the announcement.
Right.
Next on the under the hood category, we got San Diego race attracts new names to the Truck Series. I think I just saw Justin Marks be announced for the Spire 77 truck.
Yeah, if we can put that graphic up, I did send it to you. This is something that I copied from that come across when I was writing the show there. There's several drivers who are going to be given the opportunity. Now, there is a certain situation here, Taz. I think maybe you know about it. You cannot be a cup driver and a full-time cup driver and race at this race in the lower series. Basically, they're using this like a playoff deal where what they want to do is they want to keep SVG from winning the whole weekend, right? Because somebody was going to put SVG in a truck. Somebody was going to put SVG in a O'Reilly parts race car. And then, of course, in the cup car. So what this little rule is doing is it's keeping certain drivers from being able to go down into the lower series being cup drivers. But the one exception, and I found out this just today, was Austin Hill. Austin Hill will be granted a provision because of the situation that he's in. Now, this is NASCAR making, I almost said a wordy dirt, making stuff up as we go. And I kind of get irritated by that. I think that there could have been a fill-in. But if I'm not mistaken, Austin Hill is still chasing a championship in the O'Reilly series. So there's a reason that I guess NASCAR is going to turn a blind eye to it. But this was just announced. Justin Marks will be racing a Spire race car. In that event, you got Jimmy Johnson, who will be racing in a #1 Toyota truck. You got Brendan Gaughan, who is coming out of retirement, said that he was completely done, will never race a race car again.
Brendan Gaughan's no longer gone.
He's no longer gone. Brendan Gaughan is back. All right. And Jamie McMurray, like I don't know the whole deal with Jamie. He doesn't really tickle my feather too much.
He just recently raced a race in the Smart Modified Tour against his son.
And he's racing the number 25 Dodge. So this is obviously a connection. Ram.
Not Dodge, it's Ram.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ram. So he's over at the Colleague Ram race team. But Kaz Gralla and Parker Kligerman will also be in the Truck Series event. I wonder why the Truck Series is getting all of the flashy all-star drivers and not the O'Reilly.
Hey, didn't you say you wanted the Truck Series to be the old man series?
Yes, I did. Yes, I'm sorry.
Why are you complaining?
I'm sorry.
Kaz Gorilla is back. Oh, Mighty Joe Young.
Kaz Gorilla, yeah. Heck yeah. And look, he could be a significant player there, being with his road course experience. So really excited about that weekend and what they're going to be able to do. And also, I think it was just announced today, there's actually going to be tickets available for Friday now. So they've got all of the entire military base taken care of the people who wanted to go. And now they are actually opening some tickets up for some fan viewership on that Friday. So I'm not flying out to the West Coast, and Mr. CJ Sports rented Learjet to catch this one. So, guys, y'all are more than welcome to take my seat if you want to.
Also, in terms of San Diego, iRacing did release today the layout of San Diego.
It did. So McLeod is an O'Reilly. Okay, so McLeod is racing, has been announced as, and I guess that's coming from Fan for Racing. Is Decker competing in San Diego? I'm not sure, but we'll be watching for the D's if she's there.
Yeah, I heard Decker is one of the ones competing. And I want to say McLeod is O'Reilly Series traditionally, but he might be in the Truck Series. I don't know. I haven't seen the official entry list yet. One
person I'd love to see race all three of them would be Catherine Legg. We are missing a golden opportunity for Catherine Legg to get some more NASCAR time. I love Catherine Legg. I wish that she had more opportunity than what she's been given so far. But
also Sonoma.
Yes. So hopefully we'll see more of her. Maybe there'll be something in the works for that deal, because it would be really cool to see somebody go for the trifecta, even if it's Catherine Legg. The more laps she completes, the better off she is. I know she's not a competitor for a win, but I definitely like the exposure that she brings to NASCAR.
All right. I don't mean to rush, but we're kind of crunching on time just a little bit here.
Right.
We got Connor Zilisch struggles. Is it all on him or not? I know we've kind of touched on this, so we can kind of briefly touch on it again.
We did.
I don't think this is all on him. I think there's something amiss at Trackhouse, because Chastain was the flagship driver, and now it's SVG. Chastain is lacking, so I feel like somewhere in the Trackhouse mix and the depth of things is a mess, big time.
Which, by the way, could explain why Justin Marks is getting into the car. Part of it. He wants some direct feedback for himself.
He does seem broken. After watching, knowing Connor and how he lights up the room, he's always very confident. Seeing him and hearing him over the radio, I'm not all for like going in and firing people, like, or demoting people. I've always been one that says we get rid of coaches way too fast, and typically crew chiefs kind of hang on. But just to bring a moral factor to Connor, I wouldn't be wrong to say that maybe a crew chief change may be something that Connor needs. Honestly, I just don't think whatever's working, whatever they have put together is not working. And I'd like to see some changes made pretty fast, even if it's a swap. Like bring Ross Chastain's crew chief over and swap up like we've seen in years past at DEI and some other organizations. Even the Larry Mack situation where he got put over with Mike Skinner after Dell won the Daytona 500, for crying out loud. So let's do something different. Let's give this kid a chance to grow, even if it's somebody different. Look, I mean, we even seen Tony Eury Jr. step away from the pit box from Dale Jr. when they were struggling there. So honestly, there's something going on. We don't need to lose this kid because I think, give a couple of bad seasons, the value of him goes down tremendously. And I really feel like Connor Zilisch could very well earn what's it called when they get the license for F1. Like Connor could definitely go somewhere else. This kid's got a lot of money behind him. He's got a lot of talent. We don't need to screw this up.
Yeah. I just think that I almost forgot what I was going to say here. I had it right there and then I lost it that quick.
I need
Connor Zilisch. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Connor Zilisch. Now I lost it again.
Come on.
It's terrible getting old. I got to just say that.
Connor Zilisch. Struggles.
His struggles. I think he is trying too hard. I think he is so used to being in a car and winning that he is trying maybe just a little bit too hard in that car and overstepping the edge there. I would like to see him just relax a little bit and have some fun and go out there and race. But maybe just use this year to observe and learn instead of trying to go out there and trying to make things happen.
Yep.
I think he's pushing it too hard.
Yeah, they need to quit moving these kids up too soon, Miss Lee Reese said, and he had planned on an open wheel career and said it wasn't going to come to fruition. Look, do you know his backer? Red Bull. Red Bull can make things happen.
Yes, they can
make things happen. And he would have to go to Formula 2 or even Formula E and have to kind of rework his career. But the kid's 19 years old. I don't think Red Bull's
in Formula E.
Well, they could be, or they could set him in a seat that where, he could be successful. Look, I'm telling you, this kid's got that kind of backing. You're not going to hold him down in a seat that he's not competitive. We've already heard whispers that maybe he could be over at the 48 cars as early as next year. Obviously, Chevy may not be happy with Trackhouse, and they think that maybe there's something going on. I have said from day one, I feel like Trackhouse is being sabotaged by the Chevy camp in order to poach their drivers, such as Ross Chastain or a Connor Zilisch. I'm telling you, like If I'm the leader of the Chevy King,
you are the conspiracy theory guy.
Come on, I will give me that pot over there, honey. I'll set it on my head. I mean, let's do it. Like, I know, I feel you. Like,
you need to get the stainless steel colander and put it on top of your head.
You know what's so funny about conspiracy theorists?
What?
We tend to be more right than wrong. I think we found that out over the last several years. I think COVID probably proved that more than anything. So let's be easy on the conspiracy theories. At least I'm not out here spilling my flat Earth theories. Okay. I know you laugh, but I mean, I'm telling you, we never went to the moon, and I'm just not going to get any more into it. I'm sure there's some people that are connected to NASA listening to it. The CIA, of course, is watching.
Well,
so I need
another
to chill out on that.
Here's another food for thought. Are they deliberately playing Zilisch against love in negotiations?
Ooh, that's a big one. You know, look, there's something going on there. There's definitely something going on.
Something's amiss. I have to agree. There's something amiss.
All right, I'm going to fly through this one because we got to get our 3 S's and the weekly poll question for sure in here.
And I left you some literature there if you want to just read through that.
Yep, Time Magazine's Time100 Sports List. Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan feature in the Time100 Sports List highlights their work as co-owners of 23XI Racing. Specifically, Time recognized the pair as innovators for their efforts to reshape the business model of NASCAR, including a landmark lawsuit over charter agreements. They also highlighted Carson Hocevar, selected as a leader. The Carson Hocevar feature recognizes him as the face of the sport's next generation. Hocevar, driving the number 77 Chevy for Spire, was recognized for his youth, emerging star power, and memorable celebrations. That will lead us into our 3 S's, standouts, shout-outs, and shout-downs. 3 names that stood out amongst the rest of the previous week as we have our own and bring forth to the table without discussion. So my first, let's see, I don't know if I really have any shout-downs. I guess shout-down to Trackhouse, maybe something that's amiss here. In terms of Connor Zilisch and Ross Chastain, especially Zilisch. My standout is going to be that Jones boy. Come on, do it for my Johnson team here. Let's go. You got the second place finish.
Jones
now we just
boy.
need one more spot. Hopefully the Southern 500 does it.
EJ.
And a shout out to, we're going to go to Dreamfield Speedway over to Aaron Rakoski, winning his 4th race in a row and paying tribute to good old Kyle Busch as he does the bow. And I could hear Chris in the background over my shoulder when he did that, just throwing the booze out there.
Got to boot about. It's nice to know how much I've influenced you, Taz. In one show, I've realized how much I've influenced you over the years. It's good to know I have that kind of effect.
All right, Chris, your 3 S's.
Oh, come on, Miss Sharon. I'd rather see Miss Sharon bring out hers. All
right.
Y'all know.
Okay.
Did you get some?
I'm going to shout out Chase Elliott for
Gosh dog it!
for doing what he did and really showing some compassion for a fellow competitor. That's my shout out. My shout down is to, I'm still going to say it's the Fox or even the Prime Video. I guess this is Prime Video, to the announcers who kind of quickly jumped to the conclusion of what happened in that race and kind of putting down Carson Hocevar when they should have taken a more objective look at that. And I think they were too late to the party when they finally realized it. And the stand out, I have to go with yours too. Erik Jones. I like Erik Jones. A 2nd place finish for Legacy Motor Club. That has to be the standout for me. Okay.
Well, and I'm glad I let Sharon go because I had Chase Elliott, and I don't believe in doing doubles here. So I had Chase Elliott, but I scratched him out. Well, I actually had Corey Heim, who I scratched out. So I'll go back to Corey Heim for my standout. You jumped in a truck. You're not racing full time. You whooped the heck out of Caden. You made him cry at the end of the race. You told the kid to get a tougher skin, and that is well deserved. I also had post-race cast, right? And I scratched that out. So, Miss Sharon, good job. I'm glad I sent it to you. Now I'll put that on Corey LaJoy. And I'm going to tell you why. Corey LaJoy acts like he is jealous of every single co-host that comes up there, whether it's Martin Truex Jr., Dale Jr., or Carl Edwards. I know all of those guys have been more successful than Corey LaJoy on the racetrack, but Corey's got to understand you have a moment now to separate yourself from your driving career into your broadcasting career. And I want to see you focus more on that. Instead, this week, I'm going to give you a shout down because I feel like there's just so much animosity to you while you're on the stage there with these people that have had a lot better careers than you over a lifetime. Corey, find your place in this. You have a podcast. Be Corey LaJoy and quit worrying about being the shadow to a Carl Edwards or a Dale Jr. or even this past week of Martin Truex Jr. Now, my shout out goes to that Wall crew. My shout out goes to the Wall crew because I think they had that joker put back together in 22 minutes. So faster than Xfinity Internet did they have that wall put back together, and we were back green flag racing. So those are my shout outs, standouts, and shout downs. And look, I know we don't discuss the Corey LaJoy, we don't discuss them, but I really feel that about Corey LaJoy, and I hope that other people see that there's just an oddity to him up on the stage with everybody else. And he kind of feels like he just doesn't fit in, or maybe it's just too much for him. I'm not sure, but I want to like Corey LaJoy, but there's just something about him at times where I feel like he's snooty and he snarls at people and their success in the business.
I got a kick out of how they placed everybody because it went from the tallest down to the shortest. Did you?
I do love the beer thing, though. I do love that. Like, I love that. That's you know, I don't even think you were allowed at one time to drink beer on the TV set or something. I'm not sure really how that, but I do know that they're covered up. Jamie said, why did Sports Illustrated not include Team Penske for the Indy? I'm not sure. This was Time Magazine, so I'm not sure about the Sports Illustrated. He did give a shout out to Joey with a P7 finish, a shout down to Cletus's performance. But you should, and I thought about putting Squirrel McNutt on there because Squirrel McNutt did finish 10th. And so I think over the last couple of races, Squirrel McNutt has actually been a little bit better than Cletus McFarland in finishes. So, but your opinion of Corey is identical to my opinion. Wow. That says a lot. Like, I'm good at reading people. I've done it for a long time. It just feels like he's kind of out of character. Wrong magazine. That was Time Magazine. I'm not sure. Like, I was surprised, that Time Magazine really focused on a couple of NASCAR drivers. And really the Carson Hocevar thing was like mind-blowing that he's had that much influence. But I did read something else, and I did copy it. And I think this is something I forgot to share to you guys. I know we got to hurry, but let me tell you this. Nope, that's not it.
Oh, yeah, we're almost at the end.
Yeah, so Carson Hocevar's diecast sales in 24 hours after Talladega ranked as the most of any race win since NASCAR and Lionel formed a joint venture together in the fall of 2010, beating out Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2014 Daytona 500 win.
Wow.
Carson Hocevar is carrying the sport as we speak. My son waited 35 days to get the Talladente T-shirt from NASCAR's trailer or whatever. 35 days for one T-shirt that celebrated Carson Hocevar's very first win. I'm telling you,
amazing.
All right, poll question. Great
poll question time.
And let me tell you, I've already posted it, so I'll have to go give you some updates. Weekly poll question. This is 110 Nation Sports Race Chat Live. Weekly poll question presented by Fan for Racing Blog Talk Radio. Who will have a better 2027 season? Corey Heim in the 2311 or Connor Zilisch at Trackhouse? Let me see if we can get some results real quick that we may have already been able to accumulate. Let me jump over to Race Chat Live. Boom, boom, boom. And right at this point in time, Connor Zilisch edged out 51% say that Connor Zilisch, how close is that, right? 51% says Connor Zilisch right now will have a better season than Corey Heim stepping into the 2027 race season. So there's still a lot of love out there.
That's surprising.
It is surprising, and it's very few votes at this point in time. 31 votes for Connor Zilisch, and Corey Heim has 29 votes. So it's very close. Like, how about that? That is the closest poll question we've ever had to date so far. So we'll update that next week and tell you how that finished. But yeah, that's the poll question. Wow, how about that?
And next up,
two votes separate between the two at this point in time. And I'll have to say that I've never seen a poll question all of a sudden expand in one direction. So I feel like this one's really going to come down to a kind of a 50-50 in the fan vote. So,
all right, then we got a long run, which we're gonna say we're heading to Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. Make sure.
Did you send me the document, or did you post it up here so I can display it?
For which one?
For the weekly ranking.
Oh, I got it. I'll share screen it here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
We got the long run for Pocono, Tricky Triangle. This is a track where it's either the strong really dominate this race, or it's the underdogs prevail. There is no middle ground like Michigan does. Pocono is a flip of a coin. You're going to get one or the other. There is no in between with Pocono. But I know Sharon and Jay will be covering that on their previews this upcoming in the next day or so. And of course, our fantasy report to get your fantasy lineup out on Friday as well. So make sure you tune into those videos in the next couple of days to get you ready for Pocono, the Tricky Triangle in Pennsylvania.
Anybody got a big guess on who the favorite is to win at Pocono?
Ryan Blaney.
No.
Denny Hamlin.
Not even close. Yes. Denny Hamlin at a plus 275, followed by Kyle Larson at 650, followed by Tyler Reddick at his plus 750, Christopher Bell at plus 850, and Ryan Blaney at a plus 950. So
get out of here.
Get out of town. Go on here.
Screw those.
Cut it out.
All right. We got our
big question mark there too.
All right, we got our NASCAR weekly team rankings after Michigan.
Wow.
We're going to start with our basement 5. Rickware Racing, Haas Factory, and Wood Brothers staying at 13, 14, and 15. RCR and colleagues switch positions this week. Nothing I think really says anything there. If you guys want to comment, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to move on.
Well, colleague, they deserve a lot more respect than they get. And poor AJ had a meltdown this past weekend. He's struggling. he's non-competitive, he feels like, even at the road course races. And I think it's weighing on him. I think we're about to see – I think we've forgotten how – AJ stepped back already one time, and he's come back full time, and it may be weighing on him to go ahead and step out of the car again, which is sad because I really have enjoyed the Dinker throughout the years. But I understand if he's non-competitive, then it's probably pretty frustrating for him. But RCR is where they should be, so I don't have much to say on that side.
Well, AJ, his races are coming up at Coronado and Sonoma. So we'll see what happens at those two tracks, but yeah.
All right, we'll move to our climbing 5. Front row stays at number 10. Trackhouse falls one spot as the decrease or the decline continues. Trackhouse falls down to number 9. Legacy moves up to number 8 as Trackhouse and Legacy swap positions. Hayek stays at number 7. And the biggest mover of the week is actually RFK Racing, taking their lowest ranking of the season so far, dropping down to number 6.
Wow. Yeah, RFK, the big slide, right? But hopefully they're at the end of their doorstep or the end of the staircase for that level, and they won't fall any further. We should see RFK moving back up the ranks here.
Yeah, I would agree with what you have there.
And we go to our top 5. Hendrick Motorsports stays at number 5. Wow. 2311 moves up 2 spots to number 4. Penske stays at number 3. Spire Motorsports with the incline hits the number 2 spot. And then Joe Gibbs Racing for the 3rd week in a row at the number 1 spot. I think it's their second run of the number 1 spot. They were number 1 before RFK took it for like 2 weeks, and this is Gibbs' second run at it. And their second run sitting at 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. Joe Gibbs, definitely 2311. I think, the bounce back's going to be huge. We're seeing a lot more speed out of Riley Herbst. I hate that Herbst got canned already, but he's definitely probably the most improved driver over the year. He's really running in the top 10, and this kid's kind of starting to figure it out. I hate that we're going to send him back to the minor leagues or back to a less competitive race team, because it was going to be really good to see this kid get the opportunity to race fast race cars. Now I think we're going to be in question of whether or not his talent's worth the charter or not. Somebody did say that they're a charter for sale or something. I did hear rumors that there was a charter that could possibly be leased at the end of the year. And I think that most of that would probably be the only charter that I think that could possibly be released right now would be from Colleague Racing. And as they wait on the announcement for Dodge, I don't think Dodge is coming in 2027 though. I think that it's going to be pushed back another year.
I was kind of wondering if it was going to be Haas Factory Team.
Could be. Could very well be.
Yeah.
Team Penske, no doubt. I think that we have them favored a little bit more better than what. But, look, they're coming off of 2 top 10 finishes this past weekend. So Spire, I think, is the one that kind of feels out of place. But you cannot deny the fact. Daniel Suarez, Carson Hocevar, even Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell's have been fast at Gateway. We could see Aspire click off a couple more wins before the end of the season. So, look, based off of where things are right now, enjoy it, Spire. It wasn't a couple of weeks ago. RFK was hanging in that spot. So it's good to see. It's good to see this timeline moving. What sucks is when we have a weekly deal and nobody moves anywhere. So we've seen a lot of movement this year, Taz Taylor. A lot of movement going on between these teams.
Yeah. Usually, I know we're kind of more at the stalemate, but at least there's still a little bit of movement. I know beginning of the season's and usually the wild cards kind of throw things way out of whack, but usually once we get to race about week 6 or 7, it's kind of where things get a little bit more stalemate. Teams don't move as much, but with how things have been the last couple of weeks, we're still moving pretty decently instead of being more of a stalemate at this point.
Our old buddy Damian Bean, Carson Crashmall. How about Dale Jr.'s, what do they call it? Jump scare. Oh, God. Oh, a record turn 4. Wait. His jump scares are absolutely awesome. HMS has not been dominant this year. That's great. I'm so happy for that. I literally get sick in my stomach every time Kyle Larson wins a race. So I have enjoyed the last year of not hearing Kyle. I just wish we could have made sure that Denny Hamlin won that championship last year instead of Kyle Larson. But it is what it is, and now we have a change in how the point system is, and hopefully we'll see Denny get his due this year. But all in all, what a great show. Taz Taylor, man, you put together an awesome show. You did great in the host spot. Miss Sharon, thank you for coming on and subbing for Mr. CJ Sports.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, without a doubt, it has always been fun. I think Taz Taylor, this is your deal to end.
All right, folks, we want to thank everybody for watching and listening along, and of course commenting below. Be sure to tune in to our next live show next Wednesday. We want to say thank you to our sponsors, Carolina Sports Plus. Shout out to Mario, got a bunch of media stuff going on. I'm sure his business will be picking up here in the summer months as he winds down some of his media stuff. McMillan's Lawn Care and Landscaping. Make sure you reach out to them at 937-999-9793 for anybody in the Ohio area for who needs lawn care needs. shout out to the 110 Sports and Collectibles Company. For all your sports collectible needs, wants, nothing NASCAR related, unfortunately. They can't get their hands on that stuff. But any other sports collectibles, go over to the 110 Sports and Collectibles Company.com, and I think they have 5 or 6 locations over in the Ohio area as well. So if you're in Ohio, go check them out. Chris, take this one away.
Yeah, like here's a sneak peek. You might not be able to see it, and I'm probably not supposed to show it. But man, this kid's amazing. He just designed a T-shirt for a very superstar race car driver here in our area. If you need something designed for T-shirts or for your race car wraps, holler at that Why Not Kid Designs. He's in the 3 years that he's been doing this, man, I mean, the kid has put out some awesome work. If you need any proofs of that, we can send it to you. Just give them a chance, and if you're looking to hire a PI company, that's where we can help you as well. We'll be glad to go and make sure your wife's not cheating on you, and if she is, we'll let you know. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all the comments. Having that, like that, watching this screen over here and watching all these comments, Miss Sharon, it tells us where we should be, because we haven't had fan interaction in years outside of what we would post on Facebook and stuff. It's so amazing to look over here and have your following our show and being a part of it. Miss Lee, we love you so much. Thank you. I really thought we were going to have to bring you in as a co-host tonight. And I know that's not what you want to do, but thank you for being here. Thank you for, taking it up to comment to our people that are giving us comments throughout the show. And thank you, Miss Sharon, for giving us the opportunity to reborn Race Chat Live. And it's been such a golden opportunity for us. We were all kind of questioning whether or not we were making the right move by putting ourselves in another network. And I tell you, hands down, it's been great for us, and it's been great for all of our crew. It's just been such an awesome year. We're halfway through it, probably, or a little bit less than halfway through it. It's just been an amazing time for all of us.
Well, you guys are really awesome, and I really appreciate you. So thank you for being here on Fan for Racing Radio. I do not take that for granted.
And Taz, man, you're doing a great job in that seat right there. I've really enjoyed watching you grow over the last years. Where did you start? 2019? Did we ever figure out when you come aboard?
I would say 2020, actually.
I guess we would have to ask our old buddy Craig Moore, because he's probably remembers to the day that he had his heart attack. So
I think I became a listener in 2019 and then came on as a part-time host in 2020.
Yeah, but it seems like you were already there with us. I think it really goes back to 2018 or 2019. But either way, we're just glad to have you, Taz, and you've done such an amazing job. And thank you all for being here and helping this show go to higher heights than it's ever been.
Well, we appreciate everyone for listening. Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for filling in for Mr. CJ. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in to Wednesday Night Race Chat Live. This is Sharon from Fan for Racing Radio, Chris Creighton, the Caution Flag Racing Radio. I'm the Tasmanian Devil Flaggers, Taz Taylor, saying good night. We'll see you next Wednesday night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.